Hey, what's up, guys? It's Double D. I got another solo video for you today. John Boy Wild's not here right now. He's out doing some canvas and political action work. So I figured I'd sit down and just do a little video talking about whatever's on my mind. I got a lot of good feedback from the last, I guess we'd call it rambling series video. A lot of people reached out saying they were encouraged by like my story of addiction and sobriety. They told me it encouraged them to continue down a similar journey. So you guys seem to really like videos like that. And one of the things I want to do with this channel is to just keep bringing you more content other than the podcast. I'm one of these guys that I do my thinking or processing of my thoughts out loud, orating. And, sometimes I get concepts in my mind, or I've been told that people say I have a way of articulating things that maybe changes their perspective a little bit. So I'm going to try to do videos ranging over a whole bunch of subjects, really just whatever's on my mind that week or that month, and just kind of drop them on you and see what you guys think. I'm sure some will do better than others or whatever, but the point is to let me think out loud a little bit and to hopefully bring you guys some good content too. A lot of the things we'll do will be about sobriety, but I'll try to branch out and do political subjects. I might even, if you guys would like, do like an explanation of a certain time of history or how that time period in history connects to today. One of the things, I was talking with some friends of mine, one of the things that's been on my mind recently, and it kind of goes along with the sobriety video I did, is cocaine. Now, we've all heard about cocaine. A lot of us have had experiences with cocaine. For a lot of people, maybe they smoke marijuana and drink, and then the next drug they kind of get into is yay. They start doing a line here or there at a party or whatever, somebody offers it to them, or they slip them a little bit of money. And, it's one of those drugs that like just kind of enhances whatever's going on, makes whatever is going on into a good time, it seems like. And I don't really want to get into like cocaine, like addiction, and I'm not trying to sit here and like tell anybody what to do or tell people cocaine is the devil or nothing like that. But when it comes to cocaine, and people using cocaine, I think they use it without thinking about it. And what I mean by that is, people just sniff a little coke up their nose and they go on talking, they feel all connected with everybody at the party, and they have a good time. I mean, I don't know if any of you have ever done cocaine, but you do that and you just feel like you're on top of the world. You feel like you're everybody's friend. You start having what you think at the time anyway are great ideas. You'll be at a party starting to make dinner plans or plans to open up a restaurant or start an online business. And you'll just roll on through the night until it's about 9 in the morning and the birds are chirping and all the cocaine's gone. And you're suddenly like, I fucking hate these people. And then you fucking bring your ass home, sick with booze and cocaine, and you lay in the bed just staring up at the ceiling, unable to sleep, just fucking birds chirping outside, sun pouring in through your window, just fucking, I'll tell you something. If you've never had a night like that, you don't know what self-loathing is, my friends. Because, man, you fucking absolute agony. Anyway, I'm not trying to get in, like I said, about the addiction or the effects of cocaine, like on the person or whatever. What I kind of want to talk about is the consequences that the use of cocaine has outside of the individual basis. Okay, so we all know that the drug trade in the United States is booming. We all know that large quantities of drugs, if they're cocaine or methamphetamine, even marijuana, come over the southern border from Mexico. We know like heroin and things like that come from overseas in Asia. Okay, so we know that these drugs come from foreigners that come into our country, and the reason why they come into our country is because Americans want them. Americans fucking love getting high. Americans consume more drugs than any per capita than any other populace on the planet. there is a drug trade and there is a war on drugs because Americans want to get high. Now, what I'm trying to say here is when it comes to cocaine, if you're using cocaine, you're contributing to one of the worst epidemics of crime and violence in human history. Okay, you don't think about it. Somebody busts out a little bit of that svelte dust on that shiny mirror. You're looking at your face. You roll up that $100 bill. You know, Benjamin Franklin's looking at you all disapprovingly, and then, baby, and you're ready to get that fucking night going, right? You don't think about what goes into that drug, what that consumption of that drug causes, or even where it comes from. So cocaine, I'm sure a lot of you know, comes from the coca leaf, which is an indigenous plant. It's a plant indigenous to South America. It's actually grown up a lot of times in the mountains in Peru, Colombia, and the indigenous people there will chew it a lot like chewing tobacco. They'll take a big dollop of the leaves and chew on it. And that way it has a very slight anesthetic effect, but it also has the effect of something like caffeine or tea. It helps these people, the indigenous people there, have the energy to go through their day. Okay, so that's where it comes from. Cocaine is a derivative of that. And what that entails, first off, you got to be aware of what you're putting in your nose, man. It just looks like a pretty white powder or whatever, like some literally like fucking fairy dust. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's a fucked up chemical cocktail that you're just shooting right up into your nose, into your brain. That can, I mean, we've all heard stories of decades old cocaine addicts. Their inside of their nasal passage is completely destroyed. And this is why. So they take the cocaine, the coca leaves, they grind it up, they mash it up, and then they process it. I don't know all the specifics of how they process, but what I do know are some of the chemicals that they use. They will use gasoline, they will use ether, they will use paint thinner, and they'll put it over the leaves in order to bring out the active ingredient. From there, there's a whole bunch of processing, drying. God knows, it's like a madman's end of days mad scientist fucking laboratory out in the jungle, okay? And the end product, after all these chemical processes, is that pretty little powder that we call cocaine. Okay, so the process of producing cocaine involves all these highly toxic chemicals. They produce cocaine in the jungle, in the Amazon rainforest. Okay, there isn't proper management for chemicals or waste. Can you guess what they do with the waste products or the excess chemicals after they've treated the cocaine? They take it and they dump it into the tributaries that lead into the Amazon River. One of the main sources of pollution other than logging and mining in the Amazon River is cocaine production. Okay? If you're an environmentalist, that's got to piss you off. And I know a lot of like hippy dippy people that won't eat certain things, or you know, they fucking think gluten's the goddamn devil, and it very well may be. All right? But they'll fucking put a fat line of fucking yay, like a spike of fucking ice up in their brain, no problem. They don't even give a fuck. Oh, it's fine. Meanwhile, it's a chemical cocktail that is literally in the production of it destroying the Amazon River. But the environmental implications don't end there. I said it's grown in the Amazon rainforest. Huge fields of coca leaves. They're really beautiful. Just like tea fields in Thailand or Japan or wherever. Absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful plant. But in order to produce cocaine, they have to clear cut swathes of Amazon rainforest. Burning, slashing, gouging, just tearing up some of the oldest forest on the planet. Tearing up what is essentially the lungs of planet Earth in order to produce cocaine so that you can get high and drink copious amounts of alcohol with people you don't give a fuck about. So we're already off to a good start. From there, we all know the story. It's packaged, distributed, smuggled across the border, broken down, cut, blah, blah, blah. So the next step is the cartels control or buy up all the coca, and they sell it. These cartels, especially in modern times, are some of the bloodthirstiest, terrifying human beings to walk the fucking face of the planet. I swear to God, these people put the Mongols to shame, man. I don't know if you've paid much attention to the drug war going down in Mexico, but it's absolute savagery. We're talking about people getting their heads cut off, their tongues pulled out and stuck into their bungholes as a sign to enemy gangs to stay away. We're talking about people just disappearing and being dissolved in vats of acid. People getting shot to death. Innocent citizens caught in the middle. The coca farmers themselves are caught in the middle between the police and the drug lords. And they got to try to make a living through this. The sheer amount of violence and suffering and poverty induced from the production and selling of cocaine is astronomical. I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's the war on drugs. We kind of laugh at that name. But the war on drugs in Mexico specifically is a fucking armed conflict between cartels, the police, and U.S. government agencies. Some of the police are so corrupted, they're bought up by the cartels. The cartel members are murdering people on the street. I don't know if you know this, but there's some Mormon communities down in Mexico that left the United States probably 100 years ago or so when polygamy was outlawed. The violence is so bad down there that the Mormons have built walled citadel fortified cities in order to protect themselves from the cartels. If you go down to Mexico and you're not in the little American colonies called resorts, you got armed personnel on every street corner. You've got, not just that, you've got cartel members in masks and military grade shit roaming down the street like they fucking own it. It's absolute insanity. And here's the thing. If you're putting that cocaine up your nose because you want to have a good time on Saturday night, and I get it, dude. I like to party. I used to like to party. I've been there, done that. But when you're putting that svelte dust up your nose, brother, you are directly responsible not only for the destruction of one of the most sacred habitats on the planet, but you might as well be equivalent to a murderer. You are directly responsible by putting that shit up your nose, by buying it, by funneling money to the cartels that they will use to buy guns and incite violence in that country. You are directly responsible for murdering innocent citizens, police, all of it. It's your fault. There wouldn't be a war on drugs. There wouldn't be cartels. There wouldn't be clear cutting of the Amazon rainforest to grow cocaine if you weren't a fucking cokehead. And that's the truth. It doesn't stop there. You get the drugs onto the street. Yeah, maybe you're just, snorting a little bit up your nose or whatever. But the sheer amount of damage that cocaine and obviously crack has done to the American public, if you really look into it and take the time to read the statistics, and not just the statistics, fuck the statistics. If you take the time to read the human stories, to experience the life I have surrounded by drugs like cocaine, you would fucking throw up, guys. You wouldn't believe it. Anyway, I know this ended up a little bit of a lecture, but I just kind of wanted to drop some truth on you guys. I wanted to maybe change your perspective on what you do, what you think, how you look at things, all right? And I know it seems innocent enough. A little cocaine on Saturday night. You're probably not going to get addicted. You're going to be fine. Probably not that bad for your health if you're doing it once in a while. But you are fueling one of the most violent industries on the planet. So the next time somebody's offering you a little bit of blow, keep the fucking Benjamin Franklin in your back pocket where it fucking belongs, alright? You don't need that shit. You can have a good time without it. And this concept of the consequences of our action goes farther than just cocaine. It goes with everything that we consume. As a capitalist society, as Americans living in a consumer society, everything we do or say or consume has some implications on the rest of the world. We've seen the movie Butterfly Effect. Fucking terrible movie. Sorry if you disagree. But that concept, the flapping of a butterfly's wings in Japan or in America can create a tsunami in Japan. There's some truth to that when it comes to what you consume every day. So anyway, guys, like I said, just trying to bring a little bit of truth to your life, change your perspectives. I hope everybody's doing well. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, comment, share. Most of all, don't forget to bang that bell so you can be the first one to see content when it gets dropped. Johnny and I just released episode number 6 of the Here We Are podcast. We had a lot of fun on there, touched on some interesting subjects. Go ahead and check that out and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about it. Anyway, guys, be self-aware. Do your best to make better decisions and go out there and pursue your dream like I am. Take care, everybody. It's been Double D. See you around.